The Intermediate Photography class at scphoto.com is a semester-length, 100-hour-long independent study class in advanced photography techniques. Students in this class, compared to students in the basic class at scphoto, are required to have a digital SLR camera and Photoshop Elements or better in the software department. A point-and-shoot camera or an online editing software will not be sufficient for functioning in this class. Most of the students in this class are new to the class and haven't had anything at scphoto before, but a few students are returning from the basic class. And those students will find that some of the content in the class is similar to the basic class because it's key content that's important to make sure that every student that comes out of scphoto is well grounded in things like composition and exposure. Let's take a look at how the class operates. This is the home page for the class. It's called Photo 12 because of one of our schools that offers this class. The main content is in the center part of the page. Over on the right hand side are blocks, and the content of this varies from time to time. Currently you can see a list of participants, which shows you the other people that are in your group should you wish to contact one of them or see who's in the class with you. Groups are arranged according to schools or teachers, so you may not be seeing all of the students who are taking the course on scphoto. The activities list sometimes is hidden because there's a tendency on students' parts to go right over here to the activities and go assignments. I get graded on that. Certificate, yeah, I want my certificate. FYI on that one, the certificate is not issued automatically by the software that hosts this program until you've finished all of the assignments, including the final exam, and gotten a score of 70 or higher on that test and your final photograph. But there are forums, discussion groups, media players. There's a lot of new video in the course this year, questionnaires, quizzes, and so on. Sometimes students just look over here and figure out what's my grade and move right into it, or fixate on the grade button over here. We're not interested in that particular part of the course. We're kind of going to move it out of the way a little here. So focusing on the content, you begin reading at the top where it says Welcome to the Photo 12 program. Read down, don't skip a link. In the preface section are some miscellaneous links. You may want to return here for additional information if you've forgotten it as you've moved through the course. Otherwise, we jump right into Chapter 1, Digital Cameras and Images. We're going to be talking about the characteristics of a digital camera. If you haven't already read your instruction manual, you'll be expected to read it and asked to read it, and later on we'll have some discussion questions about it. If you've lost it, you can go to instruction manuals online and find another copy of just about every instruction manual for just about every camera made. There's some basics information about camera equipment, parts and pieces, how cameras work. And then we get into image sensors and the process of capturing the image. This class is much more technically focused than the basic class, so you'll be expected to understand the different types of sensors that go into the camera and some of the technology choices that are there should you wish to go on to a more advanced DSLR in the future. We then dig into camera controls, and in this class we go into much greater detail in these. In the beginning class, many of the photographs are taken in some sort of auto mode, and in this one we want to make sure that you understand what all those choices are and what restrictions they put on what the camera is going to do when you're in a manual mode or some sort of camera operated mode or auto mode. As you read through the material, you'll come to a red bar at the end of any given section, not at the end of a time period, but at the end of a content section. And it will say Test Your Knowledge. So here's Test Your Knowledge for chapter number 1. It at this point contains a quiz and a project for you to do. Now, work is being added to this class as we speak, and so content will change from time to time as we add additional material. So you'll want to continue to check these areas to make sure that you've completed everything. We then go into digital workflow, which is talking about how the camera processes image. We'll look at color theory. It's important to understand how the technology works. So again, this class is more technology focused than before, and this class has a number of tests in it that the other class didn't have as many of. So you'll be expected to read the content. You may want to do some reading about the subject matter on other things by Googling the topics and doing your own study to add to the knowledge that we have here in the class. We'll present you the important material, but sometimes students are interested in more depth on some of these things, and we encourage you to go ahead and do those things. Again, as time comes along, you'll get to the end of a chapter, test your knowledge. This is the stuff that you will be graded on, of course. Now here we have 2 discussions. There will be many more discussions in this class than there were in the other class. There will be more conversations between you and other students than there is in the basic class. Again, most of this class is done independent study. That means there are due dates placed on all of the assignments. There's no penalty if you miss the due date, but it's important that they're there just so you have a general idea of where you should be during the semester. But otherwise, you work at your own speed. You spend as much time as necessary on the content that you know the least about, and you can skim through and read a little bit faster content that you're already an expert on. But do be sure to read everything, even if you think you already understand all there is to know about it. Now notice this right here says 1 unread post. So this is a forum. The little man with the little comment thing comes out of you as an icon that shows you that this is a forum. And so that means that there's a question on here that you haven't read yet. So let's click on it and look at how the forums work. Forums then will have questions, perhaps many. Right now there's only 1 in this forum. If we click on the question itself will open up, and it's asking you to look at these 2 photographs, and then they'll always tell you what they're expecting you to comment on. Over in the lower right hand corner there will be a reply button. To answer the forum question, you click on reply. A window opens up. It's pretty much a standard word processing program. You have formatting buttons, you have tables and numbers that you can place. You can change the color of the type. You can insert a photograph from a website or from a file on your desk. You can put smiley faces in. It's a regular word processing program type thing. Once you're through, you would click on Post to the forum, and your question or your comment will be added to the forum. Now, many of the forums are in question and answer format, and what that means is you'll see the question, but you won't see the other students' answers until you've answered your own. This way, we're not going to go in and have you read what other people say, and then you just sort of mimic it back and say, yeah, I figured that out. We encourage you to reply to other students' comments if they say something that you would like them to expand on a little bit more, or you would like to comment on their comment. And on those, you can simply take the comment that you wish to add to, click on the reply button to that, and you'll be replying to theirs. They'll be sent an email telling them that you've done that. So welcome to the intermediate photography class. We hope you have a good time. If you have any questions, be sure to ask your teacher. If you're in a group or a school, your teacher will be your group or school teacher. If you're an independent study, your teacher will be Keith Wills, and we'll be glad to answer your questions by email anytime you have them.